Hey everyone, welcome to Coding Simplified, and today we'll see a new problem in string. So basically we are given a string. Now you need to find all the anagrams present in the given string for a particular pattern. So like if you see here, we have this string, we have BCD, CBA, BCBD, and we have this pattern ABC. Now we need to write that how many anagrams present in this for this pattern in this string, and if anagram present, then we need to return the indexes, that where it starts. So now first of all, let's see what is anagram. Anagram means that it can be of any combination. Like we have this ABC, so these are the anagrams or the permutations, both are the same thing. Now these are the anagrams or permutation possible for this pattern. We can have ABC, then ACB, BAC, BCA, CAB and CBA. Right? Now if any anagram present in this string, so we need to find out and we need to return the index. Now if you see in this case, here we have this CBA. So CBA is one of the anagram of this ABC. Here we have CBA, right? Similarly, if you see after CBA we have this ABC. So ABC is also one of the anagram, because this is also anagram. Right? So in this string, two anagrams present for this particular pattern. Now what are the indexes? So if you see here, indexes are 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So my answer should be that anagrams present at the indexes of 3 and the 5. So it means if someone knows, okay, the anagram present at this index, so he will automatically calculate, okay, I have the pattern length as 3, so it means at this index there is one anagram. Similarly, at the fifth index also there is one anagram matching ABC. Right? So that's all we need to return. We need to return the indexes of the starting point of anagram. So now if you see, let me write here string again. I have BCD, CBA, BCBD. This is my string. Now if you see that the anagram means the length should be exactly matching. Like what is the length here? The length of this pattern is 3. So it means this anagram is also have length 3, and this anagram is of also length 3. So what I can do, that I need to basically maintain the window. Let's say we are talking about the window of this pattern. Now window of this pattern is 3. So my anagram will also have a window of 3. Right? So what can I do? That I'll basically start from here, and I'll basically always keep on checking in a window that in this window I am finding this anagram or not. So what will happen, that first of all I'll check this window, that in this window, like BCD is one of the anagram of this ABC, right? So it is not. Now I'll find this CDC, that is there an anagram? No. Then I'll find this DCB, there is also no. Then I'll find this CBA. So here I got the anagram. So what I'll do, that if you observe here, that I need to maintain the window, and in this window only I need to check that whether the anagram present or not. Right? So this is how I can do. I'll keep on starting and I will maintain the window of 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, because the window of pattern is 3. So if I maintain the window, and only in the window I will check that whether exactly it is matching or not, and then I would say that I have the anagram. Right? So the first point that you have understood, that we need to maintain the window. We need to maintain window. Now the point is that in the window what you will check, like here we have the CBA, and here also in the ABC we are matching. Now what you check, if you see here, that we need not to check exactly, like here we need not to check that whether the ABC is matching. It can be anagram, it can be any anagram, it can be CBA, CAB, BCA, anything. So it means that if the frequency of each character is matching, then if the frequency of each character in the window is matching, then I will say that yes, there is anagram present. So like if you see, so what I would do, I would basically calculate the frequency of the pattern, frequency of the each character in the pattern. Like here we have the ABC. So what is ABC? The frequency of A is 1, the frequency of B is 1, the frequency of C is also 1. Now it is not that pattern can have only unique character. Now it can have also, my pattern can also be something like this. Let's say AABC, or like rather than AABC, let's say my pattern can be something like this, ABBC. So now if you see, this BABC is one of the pattern, one of the anagram of this ABBC, because ABBC is one thing. Now it can have multiple anagrams. So one anagram is this one also, BABC, right? So what we would do here also, we would check the frequency. So like in this case, in this pattern, my frequency will be A has come one time, B has occurred two times, and C has occurred one times. Now what I need to do, if you see in this frequency, in this window, in this window, in this window, whenever I'm finding any character, I'll decrease the frequency by 1. So what would happen, like let's take this case. Here in this case, I have occurred B, so I will decrease the frequency by 1. Now A has occurred one time, so I will decrease the frequency by 1. It will become 0. Now again for the B, I have occurred one time, so I will decrease the frequency 1. And now C has also occurred one time, so I will decrease the frequency 1. And if the frequency of each character is 0, then I would say I have got the pattern, right? So how would you check that how many characters are there? So what I will do, for that I will take a variable matched element. So here I will take a variable matched element, and via it I will check that how many elements I have got now. So like whenever any element becomes 0, I'll store the value, right? So what will happen, that now here all these three elements have 0. So now at this moment I will check that if the matched element size is equals to the map size, then it means I have got the pattern at this moment, right? So this is how I will basically calculate, and this is why it is important that I always maintain the frequency, right? So let's focus on this one here. For ABC, A has occurred one time, B has occurred one time, C has occurred one time. Now what I'm saying, that I'll basically maintain the window, and whenever I found any character, I'll decrease the frequency by 1. And whenever the frequency of any character is 0, I'll increase the matched element, right? And whenever my matched element size is equal to the map size, then I would say I have got the pattern, right? So this is what I will do. So now operate one by one. Now again the point is how you will maintain the window. So to maintain the window, I'll take one point will be the I, which will always start from I equals to. So here the I will start from I equals to 0 to n minus 1. Means it will start from first index to n minus 1 index. And now I will have the another variable which will be the start variable. So start variable will always be the starting of the window, because if we want to maintain the window, so we need 2 points. We need the starting point and we need the end point. So end point will be this iterating point, because we are keep on iterating through I, and 1 point will be the starting point. So through start basically will maintain our window, the starting of the window. And whenever we find any pattern, then at this moment we'll store the start. So now let's focus one by one. So now here my start, and at the starting my I is also here, right? My I is also pointing to this one. So here I have 0. This is indexes 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So what will happen? First of all, I'll operate on this B. Now I will check that B is a part of pattern or not. So B is a part of pattern. So how will you check that? I will check that if this map has a key as a B or not. Because if this is a map, right? The map in the key is character and the value is frequency. So we have the map. Now if this map contains this character as a key, it means this character is present in the pattern. So if this present, it means I need to decrease the frequency. So now the frequency of B has become 0. And as soon as the frequency of B becomes 0, so here I have this matched element. So I am writing this matched element here. Here I have this matched element. So it basically maintains that how many elements is matched till now. So at the starting it was 0. Now I have got one element because the frequency is 0. So if frequency is 0, it means I have got this one character. So I will increase this to 1, right? And at this moment I check that whether the matched element size is equal to map size. It is not, because the map size is 3, right? So at this moment I go again further. Now my start will be here, because my window is not achieved. My window size should be of 3. Now my I will increase to here. Now I will check this C. that whether C is a present in pattern. So how we'll check? We'll check through map. So yes, C is a part of a key in map. So if it is, it means I need to decrease the frequency. So here also I decrease the frequency by 1. So now this is also 0. So I'll decrease the frequency by, so I'll increase the matched elements, and now I have got one matched element also. Now I have got two matched element. I have got B and C. So it means my matched elements are 2. But it is not equal to the map size because map size is still 3. So it means this is not matching. It means I need to go further again. Now my I will be increased to D. Now D is not part of map, right? D is not part of map. It means D is not part of pattern. So it means I can't do anything. But here we need to do a thing. Now the point is that now I have got the window size, because in my pattern also my window size was 3, and here also I have got this window. So how can I check this? I can check this at as soon as my I becomes, as soon as my I is greater than equals to pattern length minus 1 index, then it means I have got the window size. So now here I have got window size as 3, right? So it means before I goes to next iteration, before I goes to next element C, because what will happen that as soon as I will go to here at C, then this element, this B will remove from the window, because as soon as I go to here, my window will be this one, CDC. So at this moment this B will be removed, right? So what we will do that before moving I to this point, I need to remove this element B from the window, right? So how would I remove the element B from the window? So first of all I will check that because I have this starting point, this start is at here at the starting, so I'll get the character of the start, that get the character at the start, so this will give me B. Now I need to check that if this B was the present in pattern, because what we have done, we did two things. We first of all decrease the frequency here in the map, and we increase the matched element, right? So we need to revert that also. We need to revert it. So what we are doing that now B is removing from the window. So now I will check that whether this B is a part of, whether this B was the part of pattern. So yes, because B was the part of map. So it means I will check that if this part of the pattern, and if the what is the frequency of B, and if the frequency is 0, if the frequency is 0, it means I need to decrease the matched element, because if it was 0 then only I increase the matched element, so I need to decrease it also. So what I will do that I'll basically decrease the matched element here. So now my matched element will be decreased to 1. And so this one thing I need to do whenever I am removing any element from the window. So this will happen only if the frequency is 0, because if the frequency was 0, then only I increase the matched element, right? So that is why I am decreasing the matched element, that now your matched element is only 1, and now I will increase the frequency. So now increase the frequency by 1, right? So now what will happen that before, now my I will be here, now my I will go to here, so now my window is CDC, right? So we are always maintaining our window, that what is my window size? Window size is 3. Here my ABC, so the window size of ABC is also 3. So that is why also here my, before going to next element I, here I am saying that my next window will be CDC. So before going to next window, I removed this B from the window, right? And this matched element is we are doing only for the window, because I know that I need to check only in the window, right? So that is why we checked that if this B is a part of pattern, and if the frequency is 0, then I need to decrease the frequency, then I need to decrease the matched element, and I need to increase the frequency. So now if you see at this moment what is happening, CDC, at this moment my matched element is only 1, which is C, and I have got this frequency that A is still 1, miss A is not matched, B is also 1, miss B is also not matched, and C is 0. It means only C is matched till now. So now let's see further. Now my I is at this C. So when my I is at C, I will check that whether C is a part of map. So yes, C is a part of map because C has this key. So if C has the key, it means I need to decrease the frequency. So what I will do that first of all I decrease the frequency by 1. So now I will decrease the frequency by 1. It means it will be -1. So if it is a -1, then I check that I increase the frequency when it is 0. I increase the matched element when it is 0, but now it is -1. So if it is -1, it means I have more than one occurrences of this particular character in this pattern, in this window. So now if you see here, I have CDC, so I have two occurrences of C. So that is why we didn't increase the matched element. So matched element will only increase if my frequency is 0, right? So now I didn't increase the C and my matched element is still 1. So now before going to next element, I need to decrease this. I need to remove this element, this C element from this window, because now my start is at here. And whenever I am removing element, I am increasing the start. So now I have this C. So I will check that whether C is a part of map. So yes, C is a part of map. And whether the frequency of C is 0. So frequency of C is not 0. It means I need not to decrease the matched element. Now I will check, I will increase the frequency of this map, of this character. So now it will be 0, right? So it means now I'll go to further. So now my I is this one. So it means what is happening, that my map, my window is now this one. My window is DCB. Now my next character is B. So I will check that whether this B is a part of map. So yes, B has this key in the map. So if it is the case, what I will do, I'll decrease the frequency by 1. So I'll decrease the frequency by 1. Now it is 0. And I will check if it is 0. If the frequency is 0, it means I can increase the matched element. So now I can increase the matched element. Now it is 2. So if you see in this window, DCB, I have two matched, C and B, right? So this is what we do whenever we add any element into this one. Now before going to next element, I need to remove the element from this window. So now my element here D. Now D is not a part of map. So it means I need not to do anything. And now I'll go to next character as A. So now my I is going here. So it means my window is this one now, CBA. Now I will check that whether this A, because my new element is A. So A is part of map. Yes, A is part of map. So decrease the frequency of A. So decrease the frequency of A. Now it is 0. And if it is 0, then increase the matched element to the 1. So now it will be 3. And at this moment, my matched element is equals to the map size. Because here also I am getting 3. The map size is 3. And here also I have got the 3. It means here I have got the one pattern. So at this moment, I will store the index of start, and my index of the start here. So at this moment I will store the start here. This is my list where I am keep on storing the index of the start whenever I match any event. So now I have got one anagram as a CBA, right? But now because there can be further anagrams, so I need to go further. So what I do again, I'll remove the element this C before going to B. So I will check whether this C is a part of map. So yes, C is a part of map because C is in the key. So if this C is a part of the map, now check the frequency. Frequency is 0. If the frequency is 0, it means I'll decrease the matched element. So now let's see it here. So now I will decrease the matched element. So I'll decrease, now it is decreased by 1. So it will be 2. And increase the frequency by 1. So now it will be 1. So what we are doing, if you see that whenever we add any element, so we always decrease the frequency by 1. And whenever we remove any element, we increase the frequency by 1. So right, so this is the one thing that we are doing. Now whenever we add any element, and if the frequency is 0, so we increase the matched element. And whenever we remove any element, and if the frequency is 0, so we decrease the matched element, right? Now my next element is B. So my next element is B. Now my window is this one, BAB. So now I do that, decrease the frequency of B. So decrease the frequency of B, it means this is -1. So if it is -1, it means I have more than one occurrence of this character in this window. So you can see we have window BAB. Now because this is -1, so I need not to increase the matched element. So what it said, it says that this is not a new element. This B's already have occurred in this window, so I need not to increase the matched element, right? So now BAB. So this is addition we have done. Now we need to remove this B before going to C. So my start is at here. So I'll get the character at the start. So my character at the start is B. This B. So now I will check that whether this B is part of map. Yes, B is a part of map. So now if B is part of map, so I will check that whether the frequency is 0. No, frequency is not 0, so it means I need not to decrease the matched element, and I'll increase the frequency, so it will be 0. Now I'll go further. So now I have A, B, C. Now my next element is C. Now I will check that C is a part of map. Yes, C is a part of map. So C is a part of map, it means decrease the frequency by 1. And if it is 0, so now it is 0, it means I can increase the matched element. So now it will be 3. And as soon as it is 3, this is equals to the map size. So if it is 3, it means I have got another anagram. So now I have got this anagram ABC. So I'll store the index of the start. So my index is at 5. So I'll store another index 3, 5. Right? So it means I have got another anagram. Now I'll go further. So when I'll go further, it means I need to remove this A. So if I need to remove this A, I will check that whether the frequency of 0. Yes, it means I'll decrease the matched element by 1, and I'll increase the frequency to 1. So now it will be 1. So now my next element is B. So if it is a B, so I'm adding the element. So I'm adding the element, it means decrease the frequency by 1. So it will be -1, and if the frequency is 0, so frequency is not 0, it means I need not to increase the matched element. Now the window, so I'll remove this element. So if I remove this element B, so again if I remove this element, I will check first of all if the frequency is 0. No, frequency is not 0. It means I will not decrease the matched element, and I'll increase the frequency, so it will be 0 now. Now my next element is D. So my next element D, it means D is not a part of map, so we won't do anything, right? And we will go further. So now we are done. So at this moment, this list will have the starting point of the anagram. So at this moment, I will return this 3 and 5 as my answer, right? So this is how we'll basically calculate all the anagrams present in a particular string for a particular pattern, right? In the previous problem, we solved that check whether an anagram present in the string. So that was only the one thing. In that case, in the previous question, we need to just return that whether the anagram present or not. So as soon as we find one anagram, we return true. But here in this case, we need to return all the anagrams, right? So there also we were maintaining the window, and here also maintaining the window. So the solution is just same. It's just that whenever we are finding any anagram, we are storing the starting index at this list, right? So we are doing two, three things here. First of all, we are maintaining the window. So how we are maintaining the window? We are maintaining the window through start and the I. So between the I means the current index and the start, we have the window, right? So we are doing two things. We are adding the element and we are removing the element, because whenever we move further, we'll remove the element backward. So whenever we add any element, we first of all check that whether this element is a part of map or not. And if it is a part of map, so we decrease the frequency by 1. Now if the frequency becomes 0, it means I have got one matched element, so I increase the matched element. This is the one thing. Now whenever I remove any element, I check that if this character is present in the map. So if this character is present in the map and I check if the frequency is 0, it means I need to decrease the matched element, because now it will no longer be the matched element, right? And after that I increase the frequency. So this is the two thing I am doing, and after that whenever I am getting any anagram, I am adding in the list, and then I am returning in the list. So now if you see in this case, what will be the time complexity? So if you see here, the one iteration is this one, I have one iteration is one I. So this is happening for all the element, one by one I am checking for all this one, right? And then we have this pattern length as well. So it means in one iteration of all the characters, I am able to solve this question. So I will say my time complexity will be big of n if n is a character in this string, and plus m if m is a character in this pattern, right? So this will be time complexity. And space complexity, because we are taking a hash map of the size of the size present here. So it means at maximum I can take the map of big of m. M is the characters present in the pattern, right? So this will be time complexity and space complexity. Now let me show you the code as well, so that you can get it better. So here I have the string, and here I have the pattern. Now I'm calling the function get all anagrams, where I'm passing the string and I'm passing the pattern. In get anagram function, these are some of the negative test cases, that let's say if my string is null, or if my string length is 0, or if my pattern is also null, or if my pattern length is 0. So in this case I can say that I will return the blank list, because I am returning the list of the integers, right? So in this case it will be a blank list. So that is why if you see here that my return type is a list. So here whenever I find any index, any anagram, I will insert the starting index in the list. Now I'm initializing a map. So what this map contains? Map contains the key as a character and the value as a frequency, that how many times it has occurred, right? And we are basically calculating the frequency of the pattern. So this is why I'm saying I will basically iterate from I equals to 0 to pattern length, and now one by one I'll calculate the frequency and I'll put in the map. So this is how I put in the map, that in Java we have this, we can initialize the map, and then we have this put. So put for this key, so that is why we are saying pattern dot char at this I, that I want to put the frequency for this pattern, for this character, and then I have this function map dot get or default, right? So after this operation what will happen? Now we have the frequency of each character in the pattern. Now after that we are doing this, we are initializing this matched element. So via this matched element we'll know that how many elements we have matched till now, and we are initializing a start. So start is basically a window start. Start is basically the starting point of a window, right? Because we are saying that we are maintaining the window, so this start will be the starting point of the window. And now here we are initializing a list where we'll put all the starting index of the anagrams. So here we have the list anagram starting indexes, right? Then I'm initializing this for loop. So this for loop will happen for all the characters, because I will keep on iterating each character. And now this is how I'll add the element. So what I'm saying, first of all I'm getting that get me the character, that what is the character present for this particular index. Now I will check. Now I'm checking that if this character present in the map, means if it is a part of map. So if it is a part of map, then what I do, I decrease the frequency first of all. So this is how I'm decreasing the frequency, map.get -1. So once I decrease the frequency, I check that if the frequency now is 0. So if the frequency is 0, it means I have got one matched element. So I increase the matched element by +1, right? And then I check that if the matched element are equals to the map.size, it means in this window I have got all the characters present in the pattern. So it means I have got one anagram. So if I have got all anagram, so it means what I do, I put the starting index of the window into the anagram in this list, right? Now I go further. So here is the point that whenever I need to remove the element from the window, so what I do, that as soon as my I is greater than or equals to pattern length -1. So in this case what will happen, like what is my pattern? My pattern length is 3. So 3 minus 1 means 2, and 2 index means now I have at third character. So it means as soon as your I becomes this, it means now I can remove the element from the window, because now I am at this particular character. So now I need to remove the character from the window. So what I do, that first of all I get the character, that what is the character at the start, right? So at the starting my start is at 0, and you see here that after doing this I am increasing the start by +1, right? So I get the character and I check that whether this character which I want to remove from the window was that a part of map. So if it was a part of, so if it is a not part of map, like D wasn't part of map, so in this case we don't do anything, right? But if it is a part of map, so we check that if the frequency is 0, it means I need to decrease the matched element, because I am removing this character from the window. So it means I need to remove the matched element also, right? So I decrease the matched element by -1, and then I increase the frequency by +1 of that character, so that we know actively that how many matched element we are. So this is basically we are reverting our thing, right? So this is a case when we are removing any element from the window, and this is a case whenever we are adding any element to the window, right? And in between, whenever we find any element, we add into our final list, right? And at the last we return this case anagram starting indexes. So that's it for this video. If you have any doubts, then please write in the comment section. I will try to explain that, and I will also put the source code into description section, so if you want, then you can also get it from there. So that's it, and if you have liked the video, then please like it and subscribe the channel for more such videos. Thank you.